5 more scary ghost stories to keep you awake at night. 1. The Lady in White. The Lady in White is one of the most widespread ghost legends, with versions of her story echoing throughout the world. This spectral figure often appears in rural areas, highways, or desolate spots, always dressed in a long, flowing white dress. One of the most famous sightings of this ghostly figure is found in Easton, Connecticut, at Union Cemetery, where she has been seen wandering the grounds since at least the 1940s. Witnesses describe her as having long, dark hair cascading over her shoulders, her face pale and expressionless, with eyes that seem to stare directly into the soul. She drifts across the cemetery grounds, occasionally passing through the iron gates or gliding along the nearby road. Some say she carries an air of sadness with her, as if eternally mourning some great loss. Her appearance is so vivid that many drivers have reported seeing her step directly in front of their cars late at night, only to vanish upon impact. The backstory of this particular Lady in White is shrouded in mystery, but several theories exist. Some believe she was a woman who lived in the area many years ago, who suffered an unspeakable tragedy. One account suggests she may have been a mother who lost her child, and now, in death, searches endlessly for the child she could never save. Others think she could be the victim of a murder, a woman who met her untimely end near the cemetery, forever wandering in search of justice or peace. Union Cemetery itself has been investigated by paranormal researchers, and many have captured photographic evidence of her presence. Footage reveals an ethereal figure moving gracefully through the cemetery, her movements slow and deliberate, as if she's trapped in a moment in time. Those brave enough to visit the cemetery after dark often leave with stories of strange cold spots, inexplicable sounds of weeping, or even the sensation of a hand brushing against their arm when no one is there. The Lady in White remains one of the most iconic ghostly apparitions, a reminder that even in death, love and sorrow can tether a soul to the world of the living, keeping her bound to the place where her heart was forever broken. 2. The Greenbrier Ghost. The Greenbrier Ghost is a tale that defies logic and transcends belief because it's the only known case in history where the testimony of a ghost helped convict a murderer. This chilling story began in the winter of 1897 in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, with the sudden death of a young woman named Elva Zona Heister Shue. Zona, as she was known, was found lifeless at the foot of the stairs in her home by a local boy who had been sent on an errand by her husband, Erasmus Trout Shue. Trout seemed inconsolable, wailing in grief and refusing to allow anyone to examine his wife's body. When the local doctor finally managed to inspect Zona, Trout cradled her head in his arms, obscuring the doctor's view. The doctor, perhaps out of respect for the grieving husband, concluded that Zona's death was due to everlasting faint or childbirth complications, despite the fact that she wasn't pregnant. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Heister, never accepted the official explanation. For weeks, she prayed fervently every night, asking her daughter's spirit to reveal the truth. And then, according to Mary Jane, Zona's ghost began appearing to her over 4 consecutive nights, describing in harrowing detail how Trout had killed her in a fit of rage, breaking her neck. The ghost reportedly twisted her head completely around to demonstrate the brutality of her death. Armed with this spectral testimony, Mary Jane went to the local prosecutor, who agreed to reopen the case. When Zona's body was exhumed, the autopsy confirmed Mary Jane's story. Zona's neck had indeed been broken, and her windpipe crushed. There were clear finger marks on her throat, evidence of strangulation. Trout Shue was arrested, tried, and convicted of murder, and he spent the rest of his life in prison. To this day, Zona's ghost is said to linger near her grave, forever grateful to her mother for seeking justice. The story of the Greenbrier Ghost continues to be a testament to the power of a mother's love, and to the belief that the truth will always find a way to be told, even from beyond the grave. 3. The Devil's Footprints. On the night of February 8, 1855, the people of Devon, England, awoke to a scene straight out of a nightmare. Across the freshly fallen snow, strange, cloven hoof-like prints had appeared, stretching across over 100 miles of countryside. The tracks, which measured about 4 inches long and appeared in a single file line, wound their way through towns, across rivers, up rooftops, and over walls. The mysterious footprints weren't confined by natural barriers. They moved in ways that defied logic, crossing frozen lakes, traversing haystacks, and even passing through drainpipes only a few inches in diameter. Residents were baffled and terrified, believing the marks to be a sign that the devil himself had passed through their village. Word spread quickly, and soon the phenomenon was dubbed the Devil's Footprints. It wasn't just the footprints' appearance that caused fear, but also the way they seemed to vanish into thin air or appear suddenly in places no earthly creature could reach. Some reports claimed that the tracks went up to front doors and then stopped, as if the devil had paused to peer inside before continuing on his way. Over the years, various theories have been proposed. Some suggested that a rogue kangaroo had escaped from a traveling circus. Others speculated that experimental hot air balloons might have created the marks as they dragged across the snow. However, none of these explanations account for the sheer length, uniformity, or supernatural path of the footprints. To this day, the mystery of the Devil's Footprints remains unsolved, leaving behind an eerie reminder that some forces in this world may be beyond human understanding, lurking just beyond the veil of reality. 4. The Screaming Tunnel. Located just outside Niagara Falls, Ontario, the Screaming Tunnel is a narrow, dark passageway carved out of limestone, with a history as chilling as its name. The story that surrounds this tunnel is one of heartbreak and horror, dating back over a century. According to legend, a young girl who lived on a nearby farm was the victim of a horrendous tragedy. One night, her house caught fire, and the flames quickly consumed everything inside. Desperate and in agony, the girl ran from the inferno, her clothing engulfed in flames. She made it as far as the tunnel before collapsing, her screams echoing through the passageway as she burned to death. Others tell a different version, one that's even more sinister. In this tale, the girl was deliberately set on fire by her own father in a fit of rage, or by an unknown assailant, and she ran into the tunnel seeking refuge, only to succumb to her injuries. Since that terrible night, the Screaming Tunnel has been the site of strange and unsettling experiences. Local legend claims that if you strike a match in the darkness of the tunnel at midnight, the match will be extinguished by an unseen force, and the agonizing screams of the girl can be heard echoing through the tunnel walls. Some say they've seen her ghost, a small, shadowy figure at the tunnel's entrance, desperately reaching out for help. Even in daylight, the atmosphere within the tunnel is oppressive, heavy with the weight of the tragic events that took place there. Those who visit at night speak of sudden, icy gusts of wind, the sensation of being watched, and, of course, the faint, distant sound of a child screaming in the darkness. 5. The Ghost of Kate Morgan, Hotel del Coronado. The Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, California, stands as a grand and luxurious reminder of a bygone era, but it also harbors one of the most famous ghost stories in America. In 1892, a young woman named Kate Morgan checked into the hotel alone, carrying with her an air of sadness and secrecy. She told staff that she was waiting for her brother, but he never arrived. For 5 days, Kate wandered the hotel, her demeanor growing increasingly despondent. She was last seen sitting on the hotel steps, staring out at the Pacific Ocean as if searching for answers. On November 29, her lifeless body was discovered on an exterior staircase, a gunshot wound to her head. The coroner ruled it as suicide, but the circumstances of her death were surrounded by mystery. No one knew why Kate had come to the hotel, and her brother was never found. Ever since her tragic end, guests and staff have reported strange occurrences in room 3327, where Kate stayed. Lights flicker without reason, the television turns on and off, and objects move on their own. Many guests have seen Kate's apparition walking through the hallways, her long dark dress trailing behind her, her eyes filled with a profound sadness. Her ghost has even been captured on film, her face appearing in windows and mirrors, always watching, always waiting. Some say they feel an intense coldness when they walk the staircase where she died, as if Kate is still there, trying to piece together the final moments of her life. The mystery of Kate Morgan's death has fueled countless theories over the years. Some believe she was waiting for a lover who never arrived, while others suggest that she might have been running from something, or someone. Hotel staff members have often experienced doors opening and closing on their own, the scent of Kate's favorite perfume drifting through empty hallways, or hearing soft whispers calling out in the dead of night. Those who have attempted to communicate with Kate through paranormal investigations claim that her spirit is not malevolent but instead deeply sorrowful, as if she's endlessly searching for the answers she couldn't find in life. The Hotel del Coronado, with its rich history and opulent beauty, serves as the perfect stage for Kate's ghostly presence, a reminder of a soul that remains tethered to a moment of heartache and despair. Today, room 3327 is a popular attraction for those who wish to experience a brush with the supernatural, and many leave with tales of mysterious encounters and unexplainable phenomena. The legacy of Kate Morgan continues to live on, making her one of the most enduring ghostly residents of the Hotel del Coronado. Conclusion. These haunting tales, from the lady in white to the sorrowful spirit of Kate Morgan, remind us that the line between the living and the dead is sometimes thinner than we think. Each of these stories carries a sense of tragedy, longing, and a refusal to be forgotten. Whether it's a spirit demanding justice, a soul bound by grief, or an eerie set of footprints leading nowhere, these legends remind us of the mysteries that still walk among us. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey into the world of the supernatural. If you enjoyed these ghost stories, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing for more explorations into the unknown. Until next time, remember that sometimes, the scariest stories are the ones that never end.